pizza ever. And now I am landing in a place where that pizza is. So the day comes around, we're ready to fly, but as luck would have it, our flight is canceled due to weather. But good news is that there was another flight with a little detour to Chicago that could still get us there the same day. So we get to the airport, but bad news is that pesky little weather problem comes rearing its ugly head once more. And normally that's not a problem, but our connecting flight would then take... We're on the plane, takes off. The flight went fine. There was no peanuts though. There's no there goes your tower. Watch it crumble. Feel the power. Everything goes in the game. No escape. And we're on to your bait. There's no. While we're running through the airport, we're like taking wrong directions, getting lost. Kelly's bag actually bursts open. Oh God! When we finally find our gate, we're actually 20 minutes early. And then some guy laughed at me. Turns out we didn't need to run at all. I was sweaty, tired, embarrassed, but I didn't care. Pizza's on the way. I feel great. And the trip isn't even over yet. The plane had even more complications, if you can believe it. But hold on, I need to be somewhere. I'll be right back. This video is sponsored by Keeps. You ever wish that you could get your life together? Yeah, same. Anyway, on an unrelated note, Keeps is a subscription service that delivers hair loss treatment to your door. You might be thinking, and I say, yeah, good question. All Keeps treatment plans are doctor recommended and delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Also, Keeps has an award-winning, all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system that makes your hair strong and robust. Keeps has a network of medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists that you can contact, and they can support you with whatever hair goals you may have. Several people who have witnessed users of Keeps have survived. Here's what they have to say. They had great hair. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off on your first order, go to keeps.com/ice cream sandwich or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/ice cream sandwich. Keeps. Buy Keeps today, and I'll let you keep your life. So we get on this next plane, the connecting plane. We couldn't leave for an extra 40 minutes because of the bad weather that had happened before. And there was discussion from the captain. He's like, hey, guys, if we fly out tonight, we might just land in D.C. Which, not what I paid for, but I guess it is the preferable option, all things considering. Eventually, things cleared up. He's like, okay, let's go. But then there was like a shift change in the pull crew, so nobody was present to move the plane to the tracks, runway. So we were just stuck. Like, this whole trip just to get to New York was exhausting. Eventually, the plane flies in New York. The turbulence wasn't too bad. We do land alive. After we land, we try to take a taxi and almost get scammed because I was too tired to realize there was just some random guy trying to charge people several times higher than actual taxi rates to drive people into the city. Then we got suspicious. We went on a normal day. It's 3 a.m. It's a to the bone. And you know what? It was on the right. So the bar was set. Immediately, the first thing I see when I get outside, we see a lizard on a leash. There's people everywhere, and everybody's hot. It's insane. The most I can dress up is like a shirt. Maybe break out my nice jeans if we're really going out. Watch it crumble, feel the power. Everything goes in the game. No escape. Fashionable time to make your bait. There's no door, there's no come on. Your tower, crumble, feel the power. Everything goes in the game. No escape. Right now. Time to make your bait. There's no war, there's no come on. Your tower, feel the power. Everything goes in the game. No escape. Time to make your bait. There's no days after no come on. There goes your tower. Feel the power. Feel the power. No escape. Time to make your bait. Wear and tear, no door, and no wider than 2 feet laid sideways. Look at the signage on this thing. I immediately fell in love. I got myself 2 slices and a Dr. Pepper, and the wait is finally over. I finally get to take my life. Let me explain this flavor to you. The cheese tasted stale. There was a subtle hint of cardboard in every bite. And you want to sense that it just came out of the oven 20 minutes ago? about it. Has food tasted better after you've been eating a lot of it, or after a great amount of effort? And so, like, I guess what I'm trying to say, it's not really about the destination. It really is about the friends you make along the way. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just really like salt.
New Mediterranean favorites. Our grilled chicken bowl features hummus, yellow rice, and lemon sour cream. We also have hummus and pita chips and scratch-made tzatziki sauce. They're the perfect complement to
Everyone knows that McDonald's Sprite tastes way better than the
What is the secret to McDonald's soda fountains? It's a great question that's been circulating around the internet for the last 5 years, and that is what I aim to answer today. And let me tell you, the truth is in the place that you'd least suspected. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the channel that hits different. For a while now, the Internet's been obsessed with the fizzy mystery that is McDonald's Sprite. In case you've never had it, it's like perfectly chilled liquid pop rocks bursting with lemon lime flavor. The general consensus is that the Sprite being served out of McDonald's soda fountain is stronger, giving it an electric or even a spicy taste.
Why is it spicy?
You need to order a Sprite, extra spicy.
Extra spicy?
Whoa, it's spicy!
Others have said that this stuff is so powerful it could probably fry fish.
I'm about to fry some fish. You want some? Yeah, but we don't have a face. I got something stronger enough.
My personal favorite flavor comparison, though, is that it tastes like what a Super Saiyan 2 looks like. Crisp and full of lightning. It's even gotten to the point where McDonald's and Sprite themselves have had to acknowledge this trend.
Hey everybody, Chris K here. I'm in the mood for some spice. First, the spicy Sprite. That's spicy.
But obviously, the next question that everyone has on their mind is, what exactly makes the drink so explosive, so good, so crisp? Well, the internet has plenty of theories. Food theories, trying to answer exactly that. In general, the guesses circulating the internet boil down to 4 key factors. The first is that the Sprite syrup getting shipped to the restaurants gets special treatment due to a long-standing partnership between Coke and McDonald's.
Coke sends syrup in plastic bags to other restaurants and stores. They send the syrup to McDonald's in stainless steel containers.
The second theory is that the carbonation levels are just higher at McDonald's.
So you get more carbonation, that's why it burns your nose.
Third is that the Sprite is extra sweet to better combat the saltiness of McDonald's fries.
McDonald's hired a sensory scientist, and he found out that the salt that they use in their fries enhances the flavor of the Sprite.
And finally, some have thrown all of that other stuff away and said that there's no difference, but rather everything's the result of McDonald's having larger straw.
Apparently the straw is bigger, so it'll be able to flavor it. Alright, this one's getting
So today we're putting this debate to rest once and for all by digging into the facts and then running our own battery of scientific tests. Why is McDonald's Sprite so different? Is it different? Or is this just a self-fulfilling prophecy started by the internet hype machine that now everyone just implicitly believes? Get ready, theorists! Today we obey our thirst, but follow the facts. Now, before we get to my big taste experiment putting all these theories to the test, I think it makes sense to look at the possible explanations one at a time to see if there's anything we can debunk right off the bat. The first hypothesis that I've seen circulating around is that Coca-Cola specially delivers the Sprite syrup to McDonald's restaurant in these large stainless steel tanks. This is the result of a long-standing relationship between the two companies. And right off the bat, this one does seem to...
Sometimes it can feel like there's no way out of treatment-resistant depression. You take one antidepressant after another, and they aren't working for you. It's like you're going in circles. Turn to a different choice. Spravato is the only FDA-approved nasal spray taken with or without an oral antidepressant for adults with treatment-resistant depression. Spravato can cause serious side effects, including sleepiness, fainting, dizziness, spinning sensation, anxiety, feeling disconnected, breathing problems, increased blood pressure, problems thinking clearly, or bladder problems. Your healthcare provider must monitor you for serious side effects for at least 2 hours after taking Spravato. There's risk for abuse and misuse. Don't take if you have blood vessel disease, an abnormal connection between your veins and arteries, a history of bleeding in the brain, are or may become pregnant. Spravato may harm your unborn baby. Don't drive, operate machinery, or perform activities that require full alertness until the next day, after restful sleep. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and actions in people 24 and younger. Spravato is not for use in children. It doesn't prevent suicide or suicidal thoughts or actions. Leave pain or replace hospitalization. Tell your doctor right away about your
restaurants for less than what McDonald's pays, even if it means costing them business. There's even a division at Coca-Cola dedicated to specifically McDonald's business, aptly named the McDonald's division. Look, they're saving the creativity for the marketing and not the department naming. Needless to say, Coke works closely with McDonald's to make sure that they have everything they need to deliver their product in the best way possible. And in turn, McDonald's spends a large amount of resources to ensure that they're giving their customers the best Coca-Cola experience they can. But does any of this actually affect the way that syrup is being shipped? Yes, it does. You see, the concept of delivering the syrup in stainless steel vats makes a lot of sense. The steel helps ensure that the syrup's flavor is the purest it can be. And when you look at the reality of the situation, Coke is indeed sending syrups to McDonald's in steel vats. There's just one problem. It's not Sprite syrup. According to James McIntyre, franchise owner from Pennsylvania, not all Coke products get the same treatment. The syrup for Coca-Cola, that arrives in stainless steel tanks. The Sprite, however, does not. It instead comes in the standard plastic bags that everyone else is using. That's right, it's just a box lined with a plastic bag. We even went to our local McDonald's and asked to speak to the manager, in the least Karen way possible, to see if we could get confirmation of any of this. And yep, only Coca-Cola gets the stainless steel vat treatment, not Sprite. So that's one major theory debunked right off the bat. Next up, the water quality and overall level of carbonation. As hype around McDonald's soda has circulated across the internet for the past 5 years, various sources have started to come clean about how clean McDonald's soda fountains really are. And it's here that our friend James McIntyre, that franchise owner from Pennsylvania I talked about in the last paragraph, helps us out again, revealing that McDonald's has not one, but 4 different water filtration systems that the water has to go through before it ever makes it to the soda tower. This process includes a state-of-the-art reverse osmosis filter that works by applying pressure to the unfiltered water, forcing it through a membrane and into a storage tank, which in turn helps remove dissolved minerals, bacteria, and solids. This makes the water virtually tasteless before the syrup gets mixed in, thereby ensuring a flavor profile wherever you're going. A restaurant or a gas station that has itself a soda fountain that's the water line directly to the machine. Rarely are they incorporating a filter. This makes the process super cheap, but apparently McDonald's isn't afraid to spend a little bit more. But it's not all about purity. Once the water is sweet and tasteless, the next step in the process is for them to make it sub-zero. Alright, not exactly sub-zero, but just really, really cold. See, the other big difference is the temperature that McDonald's keeps everything at. Normally, other soda fountains are set to flash chill their sodas as they're being dispensed, so that they come out cold, but not cold. The Golden Arches, on the other hand, are pre-chilling not only the filtered water, but also the syrup to the perfect range between 33 and 38 degrees Fahrenheit, just above freezing temperatures. This range is important because it's the optimal temperatures for the carbonation of the water. You see, CO2, or carbon dioxide, the chemical compound that makes fizzy drinks fizz, has a higher rate of absorption and dispersion in colder liquids. In other words, the colder the liquid is, the more carbonation it's able to have. This is why warm drinks tend to go through that quicker. The gases can escape more easily. So with the Sprite's water and syrup both being chilled, it's preventing any unwanted fluctuations in temperature when the water and syrup get mixed together in the soda fountain. In other words, the claim that McDonald's Sprite is more carbonated is technically true, but not for the reasons that you would expect. It appears like it has more to do with the colder temperatures of the water and syrup rather than any sort of artificial increase in the amount of actual bubbles being shoved into the mix. But then, what about the syrup to water ratio? One of the biggest myths that you see circulating around the internet is that the syrup to water ratio coming out of McDonald's fountains is actually higher than what's being served up in a typical bottle or can of Sprite, thereby making their soda sweeter and thus more flavorful or stronger to the drinkers. This is one, though, that McDonald's themselves have publicly shut down, saying that there's no special formula they have. That said, I'm not just gonna naturally trust a corporation. Can we take their word for it? The answer is actually somewhere between yes and no. While McDonald's claims to strictly adhere to the Coca-Cola standard of 1 to 5 water syrup ratio, or 1 ounce of syrup to every 5 ounces of water, they do take into consideration the ice that's being added into the drink, meaning that they have a slightly higher syrup content, but it's done so that once ice is added, you're tasting the equivalent of the standard 1 to 5 ratio. So, pro tip to all of you watching, don't skip the ice the next time you drink at McDonald's. You're gonna ruin the ratio, you'll ruin the art, and it'll just be a tad bit too sweet. So we've gotten our cup of Sprite straight out of fountain, nice and cold with just the right amount of ice and flavor, but there's still something else at work here, the fries. Rumor number 3 states that McDonald's hired sensory scientists to help optimize how the sweet Sprite pairs with the salty fries, all in order to make the perfect combination. And anecdotally, there's evidence to back this one up. According to some sources, McDonald's has developed a special ketchup recipe one that's sweeter and tangier than other brands that is specifically designed to match the saltier flavor of their fries. Now, according to my research, this has never been outright confirmed, but it is known that the company uses extensive taste testing to ensure that their products are as delicious as possible. And if they're doing it with ketchup, is it that much of a stretch to believe that they're doing it with the sodas as well? But that's not all. Back in the ancient days of the 1980s, when cars were powered by feet like the Flintstones, the French fries at McDonald's were fried using beef tallow instead of the canola oil that they use today. This made for an insanely rich, savory fry taste. Unfortunately, beef tallow is also incredibly unhealthy. So in the 90s, when the public grew more concerned about the saturated fats in their foods, they made the switch to plain old vegetable oil. Customers obviously started to complain, so McDonald's began adding natural beef flavorings to mimic the old beloved flavor. Yep, that means that the fries at McDonald's are not vegan friendly.
Cookie Run Kingdom.
So, sorry any of you vegans out there that have been happily munching down on the golden goodness. But hey, at least they did have to pay $10 million as part of a lawsuit because of that very fact. Anyway, today their friend...
Think of the best place you can get an amazing slice of pizza. Just the best, juiciest, most delicious slice you can think of. Where on earth is that slice? That's right.
Italy.
New York. It's New York.
Italy.
Recently, Kelly and I set up a trip to go see friends in New York. This is Kelly, by the way. I don't think I've introduced her to you yet. Kelly, meet subscribers. Subscribers, meet Kelly. We're gonna go see friends. It's very exciting. Yet there was one thing I had on my mind for this trip. Pizza. I see in media all over the place. Hey, New York slice this, New York slice that. I'm walking here. So I created this image in my head. I'm like, wow, New York slice pizza must be like the best pizza ever. And now I am landing in a place where that pizza is. So the day comes around, we're ready to fly, but as luck would have it, our flight is canceled due to weather. But the news is that there was another flight with a little detour to Chicago that could still get us there the same day. So we get to the airport, but bad news is that pesky little weather problem comes rearing its ugly head once more. And normally that's not a problem, but our connecting flight would then take off before the first one lands, and then we would just miss it. I was feeling a little spicy, so I said, Kelly, if we go and lose the bet, then we're just stuck in Chicago and we grab a hotel, get some room service, and party like we're stuck in Chicago with no responsibilities, because that's literally what would be happening. Or we go. Somehow the second flight also gets delayed. We go to New York and we're back on track to get exactly what we wanted in the first place. That's a win-win. Life is short, you know? You gotta be crazy sometimes. Make bad decisions. So we did. So we're on the plane. It takes off. The flight went fine. There was no peanuts though. How am I expected to survive and thrive in these conditions? We land and our second flight is delayed, but it's on the other side of the airport. It's leaving in like 45 minutes and we're on the back of the plane. So we have to run. And while we're running through the airport, we're like taking wrong directions, getting lost. Kelly's bag actually bursts open. Oh God! We finally find our gate. We're actually 20 minutes early. And then some guy laughed at me. Turns out we didn't need to run at all. I was sweaty, tired, embarrassed. But, you know, I didn't care. Pizza's on the way. I feel great. And the trip isn't even over yet. The plane had even more complications, if you can believe it. But hold on, I need to be somewhere. I'll be right back. This video is sponsored by Keeps. You ever wish that you could get your life together? Yeah, same. Anyway, on an unrelated note, Keeps is a subscription service that delivers hair loss treatment to your door. You might be thinking, and I say, yeah, good question. All Keeps treatment plans are doctor recommended and delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Also, Keeps has an award-winning all-natural thickening shampoo and conditioner system that makes your hair strong and robust. Keeps has a network of medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists that you can contact, and they can support you with whatever hair goals you may have. Several people who have witnessed users of Keeps have survived. Here's what they have to say. They had great hair. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off on your first order, go to keeps.com/ice cream sandwich or click the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/ice cream sandwich. Keeps. Buy Keeps today and I'll let you keep your life. Though we get on this next plane, the connecting plane. We couldn't leave for an extra 40 minutes because of the bad weather that had happened before. And there was discussion from the captain. Like, hey, guys, if we fly out tonight, we might just land in DC. Which, you know, not what I paid for, but I guess it is the preferable option, all things considering. Eventually, things cleared up. He's like, okay, let's go. But then there was like a shift change in the pull crew, so nobody was present to move the plane to the tracks runway. So we were just stuck. Like, this whole trip just to get to New York was exhausting. Eventually, the plane flies in New York. The turbulence wasn't too bad. We do land alive. After we land, we try to take a taxi and almost get scammed because I was too tired to realize there was just some random guy trying to charge people several times higher than actual taxi rates to drive people into the city. But then we got suspicious and just went on a normal taxi. It's 3 a.m. We get to the apartment and we are beat to the bone. But you know what? Pizza's on the horizon. So the following day, immediately, the first thing I see when I get outside, we see a lizard on a leash. There's people everywhere, and everybody's hot. It's insane. The most I can dress up is like a shirt, maybe break out my nice jeans if we're really going out. But the people in New York, they're like two ends of this fashionable spectrum. They're either fashionable gods that just walked off the runway, or they just like got run over, which can also be considered fashionable. Generally, wherever you walk in New York, you're walking over trash, but then you turn to your right and it's the most pristine, pure store that you've ever seen. It was the most contrasting place I've ever been in my life. There was no middle ground for anything. But all in all, I'm really charmed by New York. And it took a couple days after we arrived. But we think after a day of touring, maybe let's get some drinks and then go eat that pizza. Get that New York slice. And I'm ready for it. We find this pizza place, almost literally a hole in the wall, and it's everything I imagined. There was this good amount of wear and tear, no door, and no wider than two people laid sideways. Look at the signage on this thing. I immediately fell in love. I got myself 2 slices and a Dr. Pepper, and the wait is finally over. I finally ate my life. Let me explain this flavor. The cheese tasted stale. There was a subtle hint of cardboard in every bite, and do I sense that pizza came out of the oven 20 minutes ago? And by golly, is that 10 times my daily salt intake? And all that sounds pretty bad. But I am dead serious when I say that was one of the best slices I have ever had. Think about it. Has food tasted better after you